go the Giga Chad route and take the opposite side of the matchup and go Fiora. Curious to know. But I think for RNG now, ADC options, really, really powerful here. I think last game, RNG were really pinched for... No, are they just going to press the silent button immediately? That's boring. I think RNG have really, really good AD options, and I don't really want to see them get pinched in the bottom side again. As the Scion does come out, so I'm kind of sad because it means we're not going to get an
Wei really just wants to play his Lee Sin.
Wei does really want to play his Lee Sin. It does, however, make me wonder what exactly Shun is going to play here in the jungle. At this point, you're kind of relegated to maybe something like Jarvan. You could... It's kind of irritating. You could just actually leave your jungle pick for now and wait until you see more. Go Zeri Lulu and kind of just be all right with it. Pick your mid jungle next.
Yeah.
I think that's
you get the Zeri for Elk, that's 100% the way to go.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's the way to go as well. Now, RNG have to pick the AD carry. I like the Aphelios here. We've seen it rise to priority a little bit more recently. And yeah, just has a pretty good one-to-one matchup with this Zeri. And of course, the support matchup will get pinched here likely by BLG. But Ming has a plethora of champions that he is willing to.
And again, I really like this adaptation for RNG because coming out of the game one, I was like, man, Lucian Nami is all fine and dandy, but I need to see Gala in the late game. I need to see Gala have some priority here for his late game carry skills, and this Aphelios does provide that. Now, we get another ban levied towards Shun. My boy, just getting his whole champion pool taken out. We'll see if that response for BLG is a little bit targeted in its own right, looking at supports, looking at mid as well.
Yeah,
it is the
Thresh. I think the next ban here should probably be Jarvan, and I think RNG are pretty okay with it. If you have to deal with Jarvan, like, he could potentially set up, Cataclysm for Gala, and that could be kind of frustrating. Unless they want to go towards something else, like a power pick. Jace, not too bad either. And what I would like to see here out of RNG is probably a Syndra pick, because I feel like Syndra does pretty good into the RNG carries that you see right now with Lee Sin and Aphelios, unless you really want to hold out counter pick for something. But if I'm actually playing support here as Ming, I would really enjoy having R5. I think it's really nice to see what the mid jungle would be of BLG, and it will be the case. We'll get Angel's Rise again. Now, will Yagao go towards Kali, right? I think that's just the next question. Is he just going to pick it again? Because he had so much success in the team fights in the previous game. There's no reason for him not to. It kind of just depends on him. And I guess what Shun's pick will be is also a big contest. It's going to be a Viego.
Oh, let's go. Get a little bit of that prio and the help from the team. We got the Galio locked in for Yagao as well. Look at those smiles.
Big smile. So side lane set up here for Bin, who also has Yagao as backup with the Grand Entrance, and Zeri being able to skate in and potentially give, a massive entrance for Galio is kind of hilarious, but the same thing can also be said for Bin providing that as well. On the opposite side, we get a Renata pick out of Ming to try and deal with some of the diving threat from BLG, but I feel like two different compositions from last game, right? For BLG, you've got Zeri, you've got Lulu. We all know what it does. It's about the top side where they've got a little more global pressure now from this mid lane with the Galio pick, and they can try and utilize a side lane with no real side lane answer on the opposite side from RNG, with the Silent Rise being there.
There is so much more onus on Shun and Wei. There already was, but in this game particularly, you are looking at jungle.
We're here, game 2. Will it be a game 3? Will RNG come back, or will BLG seal the deal?
It's fate, man. It is fate at this point. These two teams are too tightly contested. As we came into this one knowing we were going to go this is because both of these teams need these wins. We said how important it was to secure every series win. And especially against somebody who's right under the table from you, it is even more so. So now that we get into it, see the vision games early on, potentially from BLG. A little bit of pressure on the way.
Not much. Just a ward.
I didn't hear the gyos that time.
Yeah, I didn't hear the gyos either. Such. That's okay. I'm pretty sure they came out on stream. I just don't have audio right now. But the feed is working. That's what matters. RNG.
That's all that matters. We can see what's happening. We don't have to hear what's happening. We just see it.
Exactly. So I think, again, focus has to be mid-jungle. I will say Elk and On will probably have a much better time in the laning phase compared to game number 1. though we'll see what Ming and Gala can do. Definitely level 1 might be a bit of a power point for them with the Caliber.
We have sound again on our side. I know audience probably doesn't have to deal with that, but yeah. we can hear. Ooh, Way going with a little bit of a path here, going towards top side, knowing that they played pretty aggressive and realizing there probably is a ward there. And now we'll see what that rot has brought for him afterwards.
Yeah, should be able to dodge out on that ward. It will probably time out in about 15 seconds time, more or less. So as long as he just waits to see the debris, he should be good. So nice cheeky pathing from Wei to avoid being on vision.
Oh, nope.
Yeah, he didn't wait, so doesn't matter.
All the machinations, doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. And he'll see it probably die if we do end up getting a pan back. I mean, the question is, did he pull it from the brush? Because he technically could have been off vision. So if no one was looking at the red buff, then they might not have seen.
And we don't know that because we didn't see it.
And hey, they didn't.
The mystery is afoot.
The mystery is afoot because they didn't actually.
Get your magnifying glass out, Jamada.
The problem
Who
is
would
they
you be,
had
Sherlock or
spawns.
Holmes?
Wait, what? Would I be
Yep,
Sherlock
exactly.
or Holmes?
Exactly. Just answer. Just answer.
Sherlock. It's a cooler name.
All right, I'll be Holmes.
Nice.
We're 2 peas in a pod.
Okay.
Shun is looking to be a 2 peas in a pod with Bin, though. He does spot it out. Yeah, you like that one? No, it is a further mystery, though. Does Breathe get out of this one with a gigantic wave crashing into him? As now Shun will pull the trigger here. The mist comes through. Breathe looking for an outplay. Tries to flash. Gets level 3, actually. Gets a little bit of level on Bin. Bin! And Breathe! He gets one back. First blood goes to RNG, but it's traded back for Shun.
That is just so botched from BLG. Do you really like? Breathe gets half more than he gets everything. He gets the kill. He gets the wave.
You hear the crowd? They're popping off.
Like, I'm just so confused because the execution is so simple. Just let Bin start it off. Let the counter strike start come through. Link it up.
There's a way.
He's all right. He's got safeguard, but like. Let Bin start it off. Get the counter-strike into the Spectral Lord. You go the other way around. Yeah. Breathe can get the flash out, and he does. That one's almost frustrating to see because Breathe could miss a fair amount of this wave, I guess, but he's always going to get the zombie form, right? But trying to let Shun start off this gank just means that there is counter play.
Oh, that's slow at the last second. Oh yeah. My goodness.
That as well. Definitely doesn't help. Angel.
Flash from Angel mid lane.
Yeah, really, really big. And I mean, Yagao still has his own flash, so the self is always going to be there. Now, and you know what? I wouldn't be surprised. Just see an immediate return.
Yeah, so the thing is here, though, we got to think about points of pressure. Gold has gone to Shun. That is a moving target around the map. Breathe is the one that got that gold, that first blood for RNG. Yes, the top lane matchup might go a little bit easier for him, but I'm looking at Shun to be even more proactive now on this Viego.
Definitely. And Viego, I feel like nowadays as well, typically you see, sort of more damage builds come out compared to the old days where it would just be Sunderer into like sort of full bruiser tank items. So I guess we'll wait very patiently to see what Shun does. He gets Corfins, so should be expecting the Divine Sunderer to come out of him. See what he goes towards afterwards, but definitely if you play a lot of solo queue, or played a lot of solo queue when Viego was still popular, right after all of these sort of like bruise-up nerfs, and you start to see all the Blade Ruin King builds come out and you're just one-shotting everything. Like you say, Shun moving around the map with gold is going to be very, very scary.
Also, just appreciate the double Cole bot lane for both sides. Gala and Elf realizing, our time comes later. Time comes later. We do have level 6s though now for Yagao, for Angel. That is the point where we start to see movement out of mid lane and get this jungle matchup a little bit more spicy.
Definitely. Double globals, you have to expect the side lane play. Absolutely have to. And you want to see it as well from BLG specifically, just because they're the ones with, a little more side lane function with the Jax plus the Galio, whereas on the opposite side it's more about front to back team fighting, Ryze, Sion, Felios. That's going to be your setup here. Or Yagao check into this fog of war. I think they know better. Potentially, as I say, it should. Just going to turn around at the right time.
Luckily so. Should mean some presence around the Dragon Pit, at least for RNG. Some pings actually coming down from BLG. Should be just that Scuttle Crab given. And RNG pushing away. Alk actually looks like he wants to make a little bit of an aggressive play, maybe over the wall here with the Ultra Shock Laser. But it should just be kind of that calm steadiness, not going to be all that crazy fighting, because we have very much a late game team fight center composition on both sides.
Dude, definitely do. And Breathe is just going to be at the centerpiece of that for the side of RNG. I'll mention him because we're going to pan over him. The wall. There's a lot like the claw.
Yeah, it is. Pretty much about the same. Although I now want like a crane claw skin for Cyan. I don't know how that would work.
But how would it work?
I don't know. Maybe he's carrying around the claw machine. He's like an arcade attendant.
Ah, okay. I like where you're going with this. Continue to go.
Continue to go. I think that's all I got. The burners aren't working anymore.
No.
Ooh, Alex, be careful. Level 6 just got hit by Gala.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought maybe they might try to get a little bit of cheeky play.
Speaking of Gala, I feel like Gala is going to be very, very pivotal to this game. One of the two, damage carries in a front-to-back team composition, but also playing Aphelios has so many space fires. It's going to be on RNG to keep this man alive, to ensure that he's able to get out of DPS, because if he can, BLG, for all the dive threat that they do have, if they fall short in finding lethal onto Gala and he's able to turn around and open up, he will eviscerate everything in his path, as Aphelios often does. So we'll keep our eyes on him. He's got a pretty sizable CS.
What's your favorite Aphelios gun, Jamada?
My favorite Aphelios gun? I feel like it's probably Infernum, just because of how stupid that gun can be sometimes with certain procs and interactions with items, and also. So
you're going off of like the use of it?
Yeah, most.
Okay. Yagao, you're about to have some trouble here. He is going to taunt him down. He's pretty tanky already. Actually puts damage back and away. As that Ignite start ticking down from that spellbook usage, we do see Moonlight Vigil use bot lane. A couple plates had already gone down to RNG as well.
Yagao just said, "What were you saying to me, you punk?" And just throws all the damage back into Wei. And whilst that's going on, it actually buys time and space for Shun to pick up this Herald up here. So really nicely done by the BLG mid laner, and very happy to secure that objective, as on the bottom side, Gala continues to pound away at this tower, picks up a third plate, and he also has a cult, just for reminding, so he's going to have a whole bunch of gold injected into his back pocket very soon. Wouldn't be surprised if he's got a majority of his first item already. Once that prop comes through, you can sell it as well.
Which one do you think is my favorite?
It's Chakram or
Nah, it's Severum. Because that gun looks like you'd never be able to use it in its entirety. It is like a giant bang,
I was about to say, it looks like
it.
a boomerang, doesn't it? Like just a sharp and then boomerang. Yeah, okay.
It's either that or the Graviton one, just because again they look like I don't even know how you would even approach using that. It'd be like holding it upside down some sort. I'm going off looks. You're going off of use. It's truly to our design,
to be
play by play versus color.
I will say, right, that's also a very good point. Like the Infernum actually does look like a flamethrower. Like he holds it from the.
It does, yeah.
For like
it's like a Gatling gun flamethrower.
I was about to say, it's like for anyone who's played Halo 3, it's exactly like that. The flamethrower, you're holding it from the top and the back, and you're just letting loose with it. Definitely very good.
See if he can let loose here, though, in that late game potential for the Aphelios. Still have a lot of hesitancy from RNG, even if they have themselves that 1,000 gold lead they were hovering last game for almost the entirety of it. Still came to a bad end for them. Now you got to see a little bit of movement actually towards bottom lane from Shun and from Wei potentially.
Need to protect this bottom side as much, that's for sure. And you can kind of see
Yagao and Angel just waiting for something to happen. They're just like, oh wait,
I will be first. Oh. You can't go. I will be first. Oh, there's a ward here. I want the ward.
No, it's me.
Yeah, but it's part of this game, right? The health bars, the bottom side of the map is super important to this game. The health bars of the bottom laners also very crucial and will kind of set, you know, the blood in the water motions for continued movement. No one cares about the top side. It's unfortunately it's just Jack versus Silence, so that's gonna happen how it's gonna happen.
Some of those health trades were not going Bree's way, though. I will just say that.
Yeah, that's for sure.
But now I'm looking at Shun with this Rift Herald. It's about a quarter of the way till it goes away. And RNG were actually positioned a bit of a flank here. Have a lot of vision around the Dragon Pit. And Yagao might be caught out. Nice flash, hostile takeover from Ming, but it's too flashy. It's not enough. And that's a big tool down for RNG now. Dragon spawning in 50 seconds.
Yeah. The flash is forced away. Just the supports though, so like both these teams still very
Gala
happy.
grabs him. He's Moonlight Vigiling in. Ming is there. Ming is going down. Bailout, Ultra Shock. And it's shocking to see BLG take these team fights again and again and again against RNG as 3 kills will go over and Elk is off to the races. Rift Herald in mid lane for BLG.
Ming just gets blown up and so does Wei after he tries to go in. There's no angle for a kick there. The plate here in the mid lane goes over to Elk. 2 for the good of himself after the Herald gets dropped. Dragon can be fought for again if they really want it, but we'll take a look at the replay as Gala lets loose a Graviton ultimate. It doesn't really achieve too much as you get the go in top of Ming here. Not really much you can do about it. Just so much damage.
Elk is so good.
He's a bit good at League of Legends, isn't he? He's alright.
I had a call last year and I can never get it out of my head. The Mad Elf disease has come because, man, he is insane sometimes. But it comes out so well when you have the team playing around you. And that's what was missing from Elk. And we see the Dragon actually going over to RNG so they take advantage a little bit. But that's what was missing from Elk when he was on Ultra Prime last year. There were aggressive moments, but it sometimes faltered because the team wasn't able to play around it. And this is a team that feels like they're finally finding that honing edge.
Yeah, it does. And you know, I remember coming in last year, summer, I think I had an Ultra Prime game, and I was wondering to myself, what is there to look at with this Ultra Prime lineup? You know, who is the star player? And it was Elk. Elk was the guy on the Aphelios time and time again, stepping up and really...
Gale forcing forward, going
Gale
over
forcing
wall,
forward, yeah,
flashing
you know.
as much as he can.
Exactly, right? And he was so much of what made Ultra Prime good last year. So it's, to me, massive credit to BLG for picking up this incredibly talented player and making him work, and in this game, making him the, you know, one of the vocal pieces of the composition and sliding in there and just removing Wei once he tried to dive in to save Ming. Excellent, excellent stuff. And even though BLG did lose this dragon, they're gonna be all right with it, I feel like, as long as they can get the next one, right? As long as they don't pull 3 dragons down, it's not gonna feel too bad. Though definitely after winning a skirmish like that, you would have hoped they'll get it. Now up here,
Oh, they're punishing though.
he has flash.
Breathing a little bit of trouble here. He does have flash. We'll be able to make it out of this one alive. Shouldn't take a nice little chunk on the back end of it. He actually got movement from on as well up here. BLG trying to find out as much as they can. Still though, I will point out, we saw the gold difference. Gala, with that about 20 CS lead, 30 CS lead, is right on par with Elk. We'll see BLG taking down this Rift Herald though and trying to get some standing gold.
BLG want the standing gold. Will RNG try and fight them after the fact is the big question. Herald does go over.
Oh my god, Wei's getting so low though. Now Shun, he's caught out. Maybe he tries to go back in. He's so stunned though. And that's the kind of compositional execution you needed from RNG, and they might find Elky is able to get away after that Rune Prison connects. All that BLG will lose so far is the jungle. If they get that taunt, the damage down, Yagao, he's getting a little bit lower. He does have the stun. Elk is getting some damage back, but he gets knocked up now too. He flashes over the wall. Because it's not enough with that Moonlight Vigil. Gala K connected, but RNG, they've turtled up, and it's turtle good.
All right, falling apart a little bit there, BLG. Overstepping.
What did we say? What did we say? We got to go to 3 games.
We We gotta go to 3 games. We'll see. We'll see, Mazel. But RNG find a couple of good kills for themselves and a shutdown. Additional 200 or so gold went over to Gala on one of those pickups, so feels really nice. As just felt like BLG weren't really willing to commit. The call was definitely to disengage, whereas RNG very much happy to move forward. As felt like once Wei goes in here, the call was maybe to turn, but you can see where Yagao is. Also, just doesn't make a commitment to ult. Maybe the teleport from Angel scares, you know, the play away as a whole. I feel like BLG could have fought this if we had a commitment from Yagao. Now that I look back at it, but hey, call was made. Just disengage. Got the Herald, got the objective. Don't fight. There's no need.
Oh man, that was a lot coming on to Elk right there. Glad he flashed in that instance, but will be revisited. I'm sure that flash already being down.
Exactly. Really nice just on the back end to make that one happen. And now RNG sit a little bit happier than they were a couple of minutes ago. IE won't be completed before the second dragon, but you can see BF Sword plus pickaxe now being available for Gala means that he's significantly stronger than he was when he approached that Herald fight. Herald, speaking of, gets dropped up in the top side. It's a slow push Herald, so we'll see where Bin goes with it and how RNG respond on the map as well, because they've got a little bit of time, but not so much to go up to the top side and actually deal with that Herald. So it's going to be on Breathe to deal with the Herald 1v1 with Bin.
Dragon is coming up in about 35 seconds. This will be sole point for RNG. And I'm sure they want to try to push this advantage in net stacking, get the late game going for themselves, at least, and getting an Infernal Dragon would help a lot with that at this point. Now we do see them continuously hovering around mid lane, continuously hovering with this 4 stack here, as that is their strong point, while the side lane continues to be a Bin Jax beating up against a moving wall of Breed.
Yeah, Breed has to continue to try and stop Bin's onslaught on the side lane. Because I think Bin's actually going towards Break second, by the way, given the Ruby Crystal. No, never mind, Black Cleaver maybe. Then will be the case. He's got Ruby Crystal in the core build. He's like tracking.
Maybe he just tries to side lane it and force Breed to stay in the side and not be with the team. That might be the way to go in.
Yeah, definitely could be. Wants to shred the armor though, either way.
Well,
Breed
not
wants
this
to
time.
get involved in this team fight because he's teleporting in. And if they could get this third Dragon Mazel, it's so huge, forcing BLG into another fight in a couple minutes time. Otherwise losing Infernal, it's massive. But look at the flank angle from Bin.
He's spotted out though. He got the Infernum and the Severum for Gala. A little bit of damage available there. Gala's on the side over here, looking for a big Moonlight Vigil potentially as well. But Shun and Bin are on the sides as well. Look at the choke going through. Ming on the over edge as he does have the hostile favor. Kickback though has now been in some trouble himself. Needs to get out flash and the lead strike gets him through. Shun just got pushed over the wall. Oh my god, this is terrible. As now the Heartbreaker is down. That's just Dragon for RNG. What the heck just happened?
How did he end up in the pit? Who hit the...
I think it was On or Elf, one of the two, because On was in the blast cone with him.
It was on, it was on, it was on, it was on, it was on. Man, that feels so bad for BLG, but RNG are laughing all the way to the bank with it. With that next Infernal. We'll get a replay, I mean, for confirmation, but the choke is so scary here for BLG as well, because Gala's got the Infernum. And they kind of just can't approach. Bin doesn't make a commitment onto the backline, so there's no hard engage here from BLG. And I feel like that's been the story of the last couple of engagements here. Hesitancy is, yeah, on.
Oh, come on.
Check paper, buddy. Check paper.
That is emergency meeting stuff right there. Oh no, I'm serious. Oh, he's already dead. You hear the crowd? Oh my god.
You know, I do
the
have...
Chinese crowd are ruthless.
They are. I've got the soundboard of the Among Us sound, but I don't want to do it on stream just in case it's really loud. But if I was Machine, I would, I promise.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. But now we're looking at RNG with their 2-item spikes in tow. They push back on the map. They've got the IE completed for Gala. They've got second item completed for Angel. And they're back to the roaming death squad, it feels like, that they've been piloting for the last 7 minutes.
Yeah, absolutely. 2 items is just not there for LP, so they're not going to be able to match the damage for now. However,
They got 3 minutes and 30 seconds.
Yeah, I think he's definitely going to hit it within that time frame. Roa's also online for Angel. I can't quite make out. Is that 8 or a 5? I can't actually tell. My eyes are bad.
That's 8 on both sides.
8 on both sides. Good to know.
9 now for Angel. They're going for Ming though. Hostile takeover back. Gala's caught though. He's putting down work. Shun, you gotta be careful. And Shun is gone. What did we say? We gotta go to 3 every time. BLG knock on the RNG door. They are put back down.
Put in the dirt. BLG are, and they just go too far for Ming. Some of the CC doesn't quite connect onto Gala, and now the Baron. It's got to be inevitability. BLG have to try and do something. They've been so indecisive the last 3 fights or so. They have to make a decision here or they'll lose the Baron.
Here comes the train right on time, and actually Ben just completely caught out him, shook, and now he's just gone. The Rogue Entrance ain't gonna save you today, and Yagao might have just left himself out now. And Gala chasing him down. RNG are making quick work of this one.
We're going to 3. I'm going to call it now. I can feel it in my bones. You're right. As Elf,
we knew from the very beginning of the day. We knew it was coming. And Breathe gets the kill onto Elk as well. TP into the mid lane and don't stop just because BLG can't hang.
It's an onslaught. Onslaught of pressure hit from RNG. And now the Baron. They're going to have pressure for the next couple of minutes, and don't forget they also have that Infernal Soul spawning, so BLG have got to find something, somewhere to make this an even
What is it?
game.
Is it Zeri?
Do you know what I think it is? I think it's actually bloody committing to a play as a 5. That's what I think it is, because it feels like too many times have we seen just minor, half-hearted attempts.
Great cleanse from Gala.
I think actually the better call here is the kill force to get him out of the torn as well. Not only is the cleanse quite nice, I think he just about Captain Jacked it. I'm not sure if he got clipped by the taunt.
I think he got clipped by the taunt. I think he Captain Jacked it.
I think he did.
But
either way,
now we got to see.
Poly did. I think he got rid of the poly as well. Don't forget. So movement speed out. Either way, it was a good cleanse. You're right.
Oh. A little bit of damage back. Shun's focusing. They got a deep flank from Ben. He has not been spotted. He has not been spotted, and this is the turnaround that BLG could be looking for. They're waiting for the setup. Everything's available except for the heroic entrance. Hostile takeover back. TP's coming back in. Moonlight Vigil has connected. Shun has found Gala. Ben can't get into the fight though, but Gala's still alive. Gala is doing incredible things, but so was Elk. And Angel is helping Realm Warp the rest of RNG straight into the face and straight into the hearts of BLG themselves. And now it is all she wrote for game 2. There's nothing left for BLG here, and we're going to 3.
We're going the distance in this series, and Gala somehow, some way, almost doesn't die, but takes BLG with him when he does. And RNG will find their revenge. It's one smack after another, and BLG, after a confident game 1, lost it in game number 2. And RNG just smile in their faces and hit them back where it hurts.
RNG felt like they had an answer. Breathe on his Scion once again, but especially a little bit of confidence oozing over for game number 1 for BLG, and maybe coming back to bite them to some extent. And love to still see the Zeri come through. They weren't able to pilot it, weren't able to get at the resources. Even if Shun on the Viego had some stable early games and some kind of pop-off early games, it was about RNG pulling that composition together. They never left each other's sides after a certain amount of time, but like after 15 minutes, and they can't find a crack in the armor.
Yeah, I feel like to me, this game was a lot about BLG's hesitancy to actually just pull the trigger as a team. I think quite often they actually had pretty decent angles. And of course, you have to remember they're obviously thinking about so many tools that RNG have to, dissipate these engages and buy space. But it feels like if you never pull the trigger, then RNG are just going to win. If they've made it to the objective first, they've got Rise, they've got Aphelios, they've got the space buying tools. You have to just grit your teeth and go for the play. And it felt like the only time we got to see it was that final play. when they managed to eventually take down Gala. But at that point, Rise has scaled, and the rest of the team is there to pick up the pieces. So it doesn't matter. You have to get that ball rolling earlier than what you attempted to do. And I think for RNG, just happy to watch how BLG played it. RNG were almost spectators to that game. Not to be rude to BLG, but they kind of just were where they were supposed to be, and BLG didn't really give them much an issue for it. So, you know, we go the distance here, and I think RNG definitely earned themselves a game 3, and they really want this series win, right? Remember what this means for the standings too, for that playoffs race.
It means so much. Again, not only does every win matter, but especially when you're, again, against a team that's right next to you in the standings. And to see that comeback from this team who had that veterancy, right? We said the only piece that's changed from last year, at least, is Angel, and getting a little bit of that change in him, but also finding that facilitation through the Rise twice in a row. The thing is, though, we've seen RNG opt into these couple picks here with Wei getting the Lee Sin, Angel getting the Rise. What happens if that changes going in game 3?
Yeah, right. That's, I think, the big thing for me that I'd like to see kind of swapped up here is for BLG, taking away Angel's Rise could definitely be a bit of a thing. I think very silently, Angels had 2 pretty alright games on this Rise so far. And to me, I feel like the gameplay side of things, right? Just being decisive, kind of like they were in game 1, and, you know, send it. Actually send it this time. Go for the core carries that you... Just send it. Go for the core carries you need to kill, and, you know, utilize the strength of your champions. You had Shun and Yagao on Spike. You just have to kind of go in. You have to be able to be willing to make the sacrifice to pull ahead. And it felt like despite the, you know, the brief moments of item windows they didn't use it. I think even at the Herald, right, we saw Yagao could have very easily ulted Shun, and they could have re-engaged that fight. But they decided that the call was to disengage, and from that point, they just handed over the reins to RNG. They were never able to wrest control again.
Yeah, and it's going to be an interesting conversation to have coming into Game 3, especially with those draft onuses' importance, at least, being there. Now, we are going to sit into a little break while we get ready for our final game of the day here on our first day of Week 8. So don't go anywhere.